Alright, so we're going to see if this potentially works. I'm not sure if any of our FCs can hear me or not. Right now the class is collecting data on their height and their reach. And we are placing data on T-chart and we are placing sticky dots.
Oh my god.
And we're going to go from there to try to determine if our roller coaster is safe. The announcements that you would have missed is right here. Our homework for the next couple of days will be 30 to 40. Yeah, I'm recording the YouTube video, so I'm talking on my computer.
No, actually,
You already saw the answers, and we pulled that up. So tonight we're doing Newton's revenge. It's still recording. See the red frame around the screen?
That was literally my
Still
height.
recording the screen. You can't see the webcam when it's actually recording. But I put it on the microphone of the computer, so hopefully it just doesn't matter. This is next question is to answer. So she's already on the screen and see what comes next down. What is off the ground?
almost everything.
Man,
I'm not even off the ground.
apparently our graph is broken.
What happens when it's yeah,
So we're behind because I wouldn't actually do up above on the roller coaster, so I was up and down a little bit. So probably not the best idea. So now, do I need to now use a tape measure? No, you with it. That could hurt somebody. I appreciate you making that choice instead of me having to make that choice. If your sticky dot is on the poster, please step away. We are way too clustered up.
COVID, guys.
Oh no!
Valentine!
Alright, so question. Are there any of us that would have our hands chopped off by Newton's revenge?
No.
Who had the highest reach out of you guys? Who? I think I know.
Maddie.
Not including me. You think Maddie? Maddie,
Yeah.
what was your reach?
I think
174.
174. Maddie said her reach was the same as her height. Anyone else's reach close to your height?
Mine is 177.
All right, grab a seat. Once we're done up there, grab a seat.
Max is dead.
Nathan Shea, please come to the main office. Nathan, come to the main office.
Hey, who was that for?
Nathan Shea.
Okay, just double checking. He's Nathan. Alright, we're done with this. We're done with this. I'm gonna put stuff away for us. We're done. Get out your math paper. Your notes from previous day or a new page. I don't care. Are we still collecting data? We should be. You what? Well, because we had to convert, then you gotta multiply by 2.54.
Let me recheck.
Yes. What's yours? Look, I almost shoot.
Why are we continuing to push our behavior further and further? Just sit down. Someone's gonna get upset with somebody. Please sit down. Thank you.
Your reach is
Grab a seat. Sit. Grab a seat. Cheeks on chairs.
Oh! I ain't never heard that.
Cheeks on chairs. Yeah, it's a fun one. So, let's go one at a time. What do we think? So here's some guiding questions up here. Aharon's finishing up putting his dot probably actually gets on the real poster. Must be nice to be Aharon. So
Yeah, right.
let's first talk about the graph. So I kind of feel bad, but this is supposed to happen on purpose. Anna put a lot of effort. Actually, for her, this was probably like easy. But Anna put a lot of effort making that beautiful graph page for us, and most of our dots are off of it.
Sorry, Anna.
So, man, in a situation like this, where all of our data, like, guys, is anyone's height under 100?
No.
Is anyone's reach under 100?
No.
So, does anyone know what we could have done with this graph? That then our points would have actually been on Anna's graph and would look nice and beautiful. Maybe we should do this again someday when we can put the dots actually on the graph. What can we do to
We
it?
could have started at 100 and gone to 200.
Can we just start at 100 though?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we can't.
Oh, you could have gone by like
Anyone who tells you you're allowed to just start at any number willy-nilly is a liar.
Yes.
Max?
You could have done wingspan.
Could have what?
This usually is.
No, so we
not
can't
in the
change.
100s.
We can't change our data. So I like your idea, but we can't change our data. We got to do height and reach.
0, 100, 200, 0, like 150.
Okay, so Max was saying change the scale. That is always an idea. What would happen if we changed our scale to like 100, 200, 300, like?
That's not. I meant more like I want like 0, 20, 40.
Oh, so just make it a little bigger, not crazy
100,
big.
Yeah.
120. So that even though it would still be at the top, at least you would kind of get.
Okay. Idea?
I was going to say that maybe this is like a long outline, but instead it would be like 0, 30, 60.
So again, change the scale. Give us some more options. Ooh.
Are you monkey now, Max?
Yes.
Hold on.
Change the scale. A bunch of the dots are all overlapping, so even if we change the scale by a little bit, they're just going to completely from each other.
Oh, there's the problem with changing the scale. Guys, if we change the scale to show more more numbers, what that's gonna do not coincidentally, at the same time is tighten up all of our points. And all of our points are already pretty tightly clustered. So if we put them any tighter on top of each other, we won't be able to tell what's 1 point and what's like 5 points stacked on top of each other.
You're wrong,
Where are
Gus.
my pens?
Gus, why you so wrong?
Yeah, what was funny is I was looking everywhere else for them. Hey, no one's ever wrong. Okay, people are wrong, but here is what we do. That graph is kind of broken, right? So to fix it, we should break it.
I like this idea.
Here's what I mean. Guys, I asked you to get paper out, so if you don't, that's your choice, and whatever. If you don't write this down, and then you forget it, that's up to you. When we graph, we normally just have X, Y axes. But when we want to graph something that has a very large jump in our data, but not jack the scale way up, right? We would actually like to just zoom in right here, right? We would actually just like to zoom in on this part of the graph. When you break a graph, put your mask on, dude. When we break a graph, what that allows you to do is jump from 0 to whatever other number you want, and then start your scale. So here's how we break a graph. We use Harry Potter.
Oh.
To break a graph, I'll draw it down here.
Use the power of friendship.
Ah,
We
that's
start our axis, and then we make a lightning bolt. Literally, so this, I'll do it another color in case that's hard to see. This symbol, kind of like an EKG sort of thing, that indicates that we broke the graph and scale doesn't exist right in this box.
Oh wait, I remember this.
So scale right here doesn't exist. And then at the first box, we just start at whatever number we want, which for us here, 100 looks pretty good. Because then we've got one of our classmates at 127. So if we started at 100 for height, and then what about reach? 100 could also work there too. So we could do 100 here as well. And then we choose scale. So then we could go like 110, 120, 130. Right? Then we can actually go a smaller scale because we've got more space to work with. Anna and I yesterday when we made that graph, we decided we'll make every 3 blocks 20 because we knew we needed to get up to 200. But what we didn't think about was none of us are pipsqueaks, right? None of us are super short. None of us exist down here. Right? We don't need this part of the graph. So as we graph things this year, if you're graphing data that is nowhere near the origin, break your graph. Now, seriously, what would you say? Break it. Break the axis. And guys, if you can imagine, we essentially take the axis and grab the chunk we want and just shove it all down towards the origin. And this all just kind of flattens in on itself. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah.
I have a feeling that this was not at all a mistake, and in fact, we're supposed to to teach us this.
Wait, you think I planned this?
Yes.
So I sat around on my weekend and made intentional decisions?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Like
Seems pretty sus to me.
Oh my god.
Oh my god! I hate
I love that you hate this. So, hold on, we gotta go back to our question. Yeah, I love that you hate that. Because when I say sus and it gets a reaction out of you guys, it's so funny.
How rude of you.
So, is this roller coaster safe?
No, not really.
Give me hands now. Let's share our opinions on it. Ooh, that hand just tried to climb up. Come on, you know you want to say something.
I think that since we're little short people,
Sure.
for kids, we would mostly fine, but anyone who is older and taller, how old you are,
Yeah, older than my dad's 5'6".
really dangerous for anyone who is,
Hey guys, can we not do the disrespectful thing of talking over each other?
I'd say, they have the potential to have really long arms.
Yeah, so most of the time, older does end up meaning taller, because you can't just get taller overnight. So age and height tend to go together. Actually, you're wrong, friends. Please knock it off. So, okay, older, taller people, I'm a little bit older and a little bit taller, and it's still safe for me.
For making again.
Not for everyone.
How tall is the tallest person?
9 feet.
Do you actually, are you just guessing?
I know, but
Who's taller ever? I thought it was 7'11".
Robert Wadlow holds the Guinness World Record, so I don't care what Google says, I'm going with Guinness. Robert Wadlow holds the record, and that's also the shortest human on record. So Robert Wadlow's 8 feet 11 inches. How many inches is that if we're talking just inches? Well, how many inches is 8 feet? What's 8 times 12?
8 times 12.
96 plus 11?
107.
107. So somebody take 107 and multiply it by 2.54.
Oh my god.
Let's turn it up.
Wow, he's getting chopped off again.
Now wait, hold on. That's not his reach, that's his height. How? Well, we can't measure Robert. He actually passed away. The problem with really tall people is most of the time your body has a hard time sizing up that big. Most on record tall people end up dying from heart complications as they get older. So Robert Wadlow, I think he actually passed away. So we can't measure his reach, right? We can't. I want you to talk with your group for potentially the rest of the time. I gotta double check how long I have you guys. How could we use the data that we have, right, that like list of data, to, if we then take Robert Wadlow's height, what did you say, 271? 271? How could we use that to determine his reach? Talk with each other.
Now we're thinking, my arms are like long, but if non-height our arms are more yours. So someone's arms could be like 9 feet round, and you could say, you can subtract it and move back it. Well, you usually have
Alright, well, since a lot of us were weird, I guess I'll take these together. Your honor? Is that what you just said?
Yes. The lowest his reach would have to be 35 in order to not get his arms chopped off would be 199 inches.
Wait, what?
Centimeters.
Inches?
Centimeters.
Well, let's say I just got a rough
This is
review.
America!
Yeah, he's dead, basically.
Now, so, here's another question, too. Could he even sit on the roller? Like,
No.
so we might need to also relate, like, height and then, like, seated height?
Yeah.
Right. But okay, so I hear what you're saying. I agree with it. But is there a way that we can actually give a numerical predict? Like, so we've got 187, 180, 160, 175, 163, 173. I think for you guys, it seems like your reach is bigger than your height. Get off. Here. Check it. We've got data. Data is power, guys. Data is power. You have an influence. So let's ignore me, because I kind of appear to be an outlier. Thank you. I owe you a lifesaver.
Oh, thank you. Oh, anyone who does that gets a lifesaver?
I didn't say anyone, but I'm frantically trying to fit stuff in, and he just helped me out. So yeah, it matters right now. All right, so we see reach bigger than height, reach bigger than height, reach bigger than height. And actually, guys, I lied to you. Mine was actually 187. I just thought that seemed too tall, so I didn't. So these were actually the same. Gets bigger, gets bigger, gets bigger, gets bigger, gets bigger, gets bigger. So they all get bigger. Is there a way that we could like try to?
63 and 65, 165 and 163.
Okay, this one, that might be human error, right? Potentially, if that's the only one that does that. Guys, I am not shutting down our school again. Like, I refuse. So I'm going to be that teacher that says put your mask on. I'm going to be that teacher that like is a jerk to you when it is necessary. So I'm not shutting down. I am not quarantining. We're not doing it. Like, we're staying in school. Let's do this thing. So here, bigger, bigger, bigger. How do we think it's, like, I heard some people saying just add 10. Just like average, just add 10. I don't think addition is really kind of a viable thing to do here. Thoughts?
Everyone's reach is mostly between 2 and no. I would say it's I'm talking. People's reach compared to their height is usually no more than 10 of their height. So reach is usually not more than 10 centimeters of their height.
So what lets us get a little bit bigger, but instead of adding, what can we do to increase our numbers a little bit, but not use addition?
Find the median.
Well,
Average.
yeah, we could average some things out.
I think you must find a few of them.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What, drawing arrows or with people writing numbers?
Can you move it down a little bit?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you did.
Green to green. Okay, this, whatever. That doesn't even matter.
Can you even tell if this is the last?
So this goes there. Yeah, whatever. I can't teach. Don't tell me for fun. I say as I'm recording this.
Oh, you are recording.
What's the very last week?
Guys, what can we do to a number to make it bigger that is not addition?
Multiply.
Thank you. Multiply. Sorry, sometimes it's just like a single word. A lot of times we shout out. If I don't know how to multiply.
Which would be a problem since you're a math teacher.
No, like, listen to what I'm saying. I don't know how to multiply to get from this number to that number. Right? I know what multiplication is, right? Careful throwing shade. But I don't know how to get from here to here. If I can't go forwards, what could I do? Anna? Yeah, divide backwards. So guys, you can use your data if you want. You can use like somebody else's data. You can average if you want. But if we do the division, that will give us the multiplying factor that is impacted. So if I used mine, it would be a 1. Right? If I use 187 and 187. If I use, I'll do a few up here. I'm going to stop saying numbers. So if you don't have a calculator, you're going to need to grab one unless you love long division.
That's how I feel. It can be forever.
It's irrelevant.
Oh, I don't have a calculator out.
You don't have to have it.
Like $1,000 in calculators in one cabinet. Graphic ones. The reach divided by the height. So the y divided by the x. Because we should get a number bigger than 1. So up here, this would be 1.09. Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot to put my height on that. And my reach. Me too.
You didn't place it. So that's okay. Well, you can use your data that you have on your paper if you want. So this is like 1.06.
No, I'm writing on it.
166 divided by 160. This is 1.03.
Figure it out, Max. Give me a second, I'll get it to you.
Wait, what?
So now, friends, hey, up here real quick. Sorry, I'm running out of time. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm running out of time. I see 1.03, 1.06, and 1.09. I'm going to average these and say 1.06. Right? I did 3 different checks. 1.06 would be the average here. So, to Robert Wadlow's height, we do the same thing that we saw happen with the rest of the data. We take our 271, multiply it by 1.06. Guys, do you think it's only going to add 10?
No. 187. No, I'm more than you. No, 287 now.
Because the bigger your original number gets, like the bigger your height, that magnifies. Right? We don't just add 10 for every single person, because I would be saying Robert's arms are like my length. Like, so this 9-foot-tall dude with my arms, that would look weird. I mean, I look weird with my arms, but he would look really weird with my arms. So his arms are proportionally long to him, right? We're giving this a proportional relationship, and he 287.26.
Yeah.
So should Robert ride this roller coaster?
No. You would get clapped.
His head fell off.
Yeah, he might not even just get his hands chopped off. He might get his head darn well chopped off. You have 5 minutes to start tonight's homework. I will put it on the board. I will put it on the board.
Wait, you okay?
No, it is today and tomorrow. I will put the start slide back up. Notice we'll take 2 days for this homework. Due on Tuesday. Due on Tuesday.
That's 3 days.
I know. I'm trying to be nice. Do you want me to not be nice?
No.
Get out a book or use the ebook or what?